Hello everyone, this is CW here, back again with another video, and as you probably saw from yesterday, Superboy Prime for the Century came out, and that was shockingly a good episode. Disappointed at the recording, how the audio got messed up again, but besides that, we're just gonna get into it. I was shocked about the next time, which is actually gonna be Aang versus the Traveler. So Avatar, Last Airbender versus Genshin Impact, which is kind of shocking, gotta admit, for this, especially how originally it was supposed to be Aang versus Captain Planet, but then like the high popularity, for the better or worse, for the mobile live service of Genshin Impact came and like brought a big storm. And not gonna lie, I know nothing of Genshin Impact. I have played the other Honkai games such as ZZC and Star Rail. Those are pretty good. Like anything from that studio is pretty good games. But for the main one that started for Genshin Impact, not gonna lie, it was an interesting matchup. So let's just get into it. So we're going to start off with three categories that I think that is going to be important: stats, which who is stronger, faster, and durable. Mastery, that's basically going to be like how they use their skills and all, and experience, and most importantly, their elements, how their main world building mechanics affect each other. So let's just get into it. So starting off right off the bat, sorry about the thing, that we're going to start with the at full power. So with the avatar state, Aang has shown many times at full power with the avatar state to able to change affect cities, including other characters in the game in the series, but able to move mountains at ease. And remember, Aang has also shown to be fast enough to outspeed a moving train, and compares to other previous avatars of the past. One of them who famously was able to move a whole island, also known as Kashio Island, but this is basically the whole island that previous Avatar members was able to do. And speed-wise, at fastest, should compare to Zuko and Aang himself, who has shown to not only react to lightning-based attack, especially at close range, but also should ideally compare to Korra, who reacted to energy uh, being shot at her. So, but yeah. So what can the Traveler do? Well, right off the bat, apparently later on in the series, I think in Act 2 or 3 of the year, basically react scared to the cast and all, who was able to react to this beam light. And it's said in more details, thankfully, in text and all, was as shot from the camera and all, it does describe it with all her might, the beam is redirected to the sky. So we're talking about like realistic, if not faster light. And this is not the only meme. Throughout the 6 to 7 years of Genshin Impact, there has been multiple bosses and characters who was able to react to laser beams and all. The Traveler, who is the main character of the series, or like the player character, should scale to this too throughout the thing. But at max potential, what about Aang? Shouldn't he be strong enough? Well, yes, technically in his role, especially since he should be able to match scale at Korra, who is able to interact with spirits and all. At best, it should react to this moon spirit, who was able to use the moon and was at, especially in the first season, was at scale. But yeah, it's going to travel up because especially in the later seasons, like it gets completely broken. So even in the first one, one of the characters, Venti, was able to move multiple mountains at once with just her telekinesis. And this is more about also one of the main ones is Mount Peak, Pelios Peak, which is like in the gigatons and all. Let me check. Yes, and the range of it for the mountain is close to 25 teratons, and that's not even the best of it because. But wait, Aang still has a moon. Well, apparently the Traveler is mostly planetary level. This is also mentioned multiple times in the stream, even in past live streams that mention about bosses and all being world level. And this is confirmed when one of the characters, the new moon goddess, Columbia Hestrocala, I can't pronounce her last name, but here is she, during the end of one of the bosses, moving three, not one moon, three moons. And these are someone count to be close to almost 21 or 20 and a half tons of TNT. So yeah, skill is, even if like Aang does get like fast tied with speed, like the raw power and durability of like the traveler for the mechanics and all, it's just too much. So it's bad. But when it comes to um let's just skip to their abilities. So as you probably know, Aang is basically the Avatar, master of the four elements: water, fire, earth, and air. Able to change the flow of these with ease, with agility, and using his own body as movement. But there's a reason why Aang is considered the most powerful one, because he is the Avatar. And what's special about the Avatar, if you remember Mikasa versus Blake, Mikasa's Anchorman thing, where she has all the memories of past lives and experience, yeah, that came from from Aang first, who basically has all the memories of his past avatars and can use them, not only interact with them, but also use their powers and all to grow. There's a reason why in the main story why Aang is considered, well, the Avatar in the intro and all is considered the most powerful bender in the world because of its raw power and skills of it. So, and remember, and shown here in the comics, he is so powerful he can create kaiju-sized monsters at will without a thing. But his greatest trump card is without a doubt, if you remember the end of the series, his energy ability, which he can use to not only deflect energy and all, he can seal them. That's how he was able to take away bending powers from Ozai and was able to return Korra's power near the end of season 1 and all, when she got hers taken away. And like I said, interact with it. So what can the Traveler do? Well, apparently the Traveler has 7, also known as elemental energies. These energies are not also known, I can't pronounce them correctly, but they are Amo, Geo, Electro, Deno, Hydro, Pyro, and Cyro. So wind, vortex, earth, plant, lightning, fire, and ice. And like I said, water. Like 7 in total. And the Traveler is very experienced there. So much so that the Traveler's own body is able to interact and fight and destroy spiritual ghosts and all. As well as has the very well trained in combat, where knights, the whole cast and all are impressive at. And one time actually was able to train non-stop for a whole week now with stamina. Well, and as well, factor to add, it's able to, has fought characters such as Raiden Shogun, who, as you can see here, was able to seal off most of the characters' elemental energies, except for the Traveler. And for abilities wise, has shown mastery across all of them. And that's not even counting the power of the equipment. Aang has like Appa, Momo, his glider staff, while the Traveler has multiple swords, his own companion, Pamiyan, I believe her name is. Apologies if I have not. Like I said, I'm not playing Genshin Impact, so I don't know the names. The Moon Mara, which we'll get into later, and another air glider. But let's just get it to when it comes to mastery and all, it's definitely without a doubt goes to Aang, because again, even though the Traveler, especially in the beginning, has shown to, like, both twins and all have or brother and sister has been traveling across the cosmos for like 1,000 years, it compares nothing to the Avatar state, which once again has, even though it's impressive with the spirits and all, the Avatar state basically has all past memories of the and skills of previous avatars. Even though if he dies, all the avatars go with them. But it's sadly when it comes down to the elements, and their abilities, sadly it goes to like the traveler. I have to say, because when especially with the elements, because even if Aang has ways of sealing, it's sadly not going to do well. As you can see here, uh, especially characters like Ryan Shogun, who are not a has resisted uh, being sealed from its main powers and all, and that's not even counting the fact that the elements or like where travel has other major advantages, such as able to do diseases, which, as you can see here, it can be very harmful to the human body from others. There's also the fact that you have other abilities like magnetism, healing, light sword, and that's not even talking about their main moves with the swords, such as Paw Vortex, any enemy killed can heal himself. Elemental Sight can see awareness of other elements. Starwell Shore can create rock structure, can create shields, and like rising water can make things explode on contact and all. Like, and create shields like the Lunar Shield, which will help protect them and hide from Traveler's main new power, the Kinikari energy and all, which again increases their abilities and all, as well as other stuff. But the point here that I want to point out is that the Aang, it also the moon mode, which is basically a moon star that gives them cosmic awareness and as well as other abilities throughout the thing. But even though it was taken away from them at a given passed down, like it still has access to it. Or not just access, but like still has like the abilities of it. And the moon mower, like I said, it increases their infinity with their Kenku energy, and again can use it offense and defensively as well. And like I said, with there's also the factor that I want to point out is that the incredible endurance, much more endurance the traveler has, especially with it training for a week nonstop. This does sound like in the results page at first, it does seem like a close fight. But however, when you realize that it is Genshin Impact and like especially with like it being a mobile game with 6 years and being one of the most popular RPG games on the phone, there's a lot to put in. And yes, Aang definitely does have some advantages, such as he can like redirect the elements back, and Avatar State is definitely his trump card. And Angie Benny could be a win con. However, the problem is that the Traveler has too many advantages, not only able to counter most of them, especially the shocking one is like Angie, he can counter and resist Andy building, but has multiple RPG elements to it that the Traveler has more. Probably the biggest factor is that the Traveler has more ways to win, has more win cons to win, while Aang kind of really has none. I was not expecting this to be a. Tell you the truth, this actually kind of feels like a stomp, which is my shot because I thought this was going to be a closer fight. But however, when you and like I said, this is I have not played the Genshin Impact, nor do I know most of the lore. So this was actually shocking because I thought this was be 50-50. But again, when you look into the details, such as the Traveler's abilities, how the world building was with the elements, and most importantly, how their equipment and abilities the traveler has used throughout the years, like the raw power and the equipment that and like abilities that they have has more ways to not only counter but to win the fight easier than now. But I'm just going to leave it there. I hope you enjoy it all, and I hope this audio get fixed and all. So I hope see you again. Thank you for watching, and hope you enjoy your 4th of July and all. Hopefully, I'll probably be out of state, so I will thankfully be able to record this elsewhere. But until then, see you next time and stay awesome.